and the mold is still in my life. That is the deck mold. I cut that up April 2022. Been sat there in a pile over there on the fence, and part of the ultimate restoration and cleanup of the site of a build of a 42-foot catamaran is that there. And I've got a skip coming today, a big sort of 15 cubic metre one, which is about the same size as the one I did with the hull mould. And I also have all the internal moulds up the back of the factory, so it's just never ending, and that's going to be a good couple of days work to rid myself of that. Everybody else is still in bed. I got in at about 4:45, and I started pulling it all out and sorting it into relative sizes, because when you get a skip, you want to fill the bastard. And I intend to fill it, probably even with more stuff, but this will definitely fill it because there's a lot of odd shapes here, and I'm a bit worried I'm not going to get a lot of other stuff in. So I've got a lot of small stuff up the back, which I'll probably get rid of, and then I might a subsequent skip for the internal moulds. I really don't want to, but you know, that just might have to happen, and then that'll see the end of it. All right, I got the 15 cubic metre one, and this one's got a back door, so that means I can open the door, just walk it in. Last night I went home and begged Sammy to help me get the heavy bits in there, and we were here for about 2 hours just lifting these stinking mongrel pieces of mould into this skip, and I thought I was going to get a full skip with all of my moulds. I think this skip is going to be full just with the deck mould, and that's $1,800 to get rid of this, and I've still got all of this to go in to that. So it looks like I'm going to be getting the power saw onto these and cutting them up, because there's just so much refuse here to get rid of, and it is, wow, what a job. These ones here are going to have to be cut up. There's no way I'm going to get them in, you know, economically, so I'm better off just to hack them up and get the small chunks in. Basically the entire site is now clean. My God, who needs a gym when you got this frigger? And then up the back here, here's the tent. It's sold, and this is about all I'm going to get in this skip. So I've been cutting this up every morning at 6 AM for 2 or 3 hours just to try to get a little bit of control of it, and then I've got a whole nother skip bin to get rid of, which is all this shit, and there's more. And in fact, there's another 2 or 3. This is actually, this is the flybridge mould. It's about as big as a deck. And then there's all this more to go. Happy Sunday, everyone. Far out. What a shit job. I put these down in here for safekeeping because it was blowing a gale yesterday. I had no chance of getting them on. But
so I can turn the fridge on.
Yeah. Now, we were watching, or I was watching a YouTube channel with the Vision 444 or 444, and they came up with a really innovative way to mount the solar panel. I ordered the mounting kits with the panels, and they came, and they were just crappy sheet aluminium, and I thought, well, they're probably going to be a good toe hazard, and also, which I'm shocking because I haven't seen my toes for so long. But also I want something that's removable so I can lift the panels up, clean them, redo wiring, etc. So we're going to use the Railblazer star ports. These are fantastic. So how we've mounted them is like this. We bought the adapters, which are an adapter kit, and they just screw on. I did have to modify the backing disc, but I've actually changed the bolts, put 316 bolts on it, which I think they were only 304. But they got that mount, and the idea is, if you haven't used these before, they unclick like so, and then they click in place. I'm going to mount them on all of them. Janet and I are going to take them up onto the roof. We're going to fit them, work out where they go, drill the holes. We have to core the holes with epoxy because it's foam core, the entire roof, or both. I've got 2 of them. And then come back later today or tomorrow come back and re-drill and then mount the base plates, and then I can just plug the solar panel straight in.
I think you've got to allow for us to be able to step around it too. I can't get up there at the moment anyway. Russ has got to put a step because my legs aren't long enough.
Janet just said to me, pinch me. And I said, pinch me. Because I cannot believe we are now working on our boat out in the sun. Mind you, we're dying in the heat, but it's bloody nice. Oh, look at this. Look at this, will you? Will you just... What you hear there is the bloody cicadas. It's cicada year. Every few years we have these like massive cicadas, and they are loud. Almost as loud as me. And we've just temporarily mounted our first solar panel. We've drilled all the starport mounts, and we've got it pretty neat underneath, which is important as well. Now I have actually allowed a good amount of space here for our traveller to run, and for the lines off the traveller to come back to the winch here under the helm station. So that's looking pretty good. And what we're going to do, we're going to move, rather than bring the other one out, we're going to move this one over to here, which is exactly the same, and mount the other one on here. And that one's going to be easier because we haven't got any underneath conduits to worry about. Well, I hope not anyway. All right. Look at that. I think I actually built it with that in mind, even though I didn't have that in mind. Pure ass, no class. But yeah, that's spot on. That is going to be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I've got a conduit run right here. So the issue we're having is that we've got our bolts here. We don't want them coming through into the underlying conduit underneath. So what I've done is I've lined it up so they're going to come through here and actually lengthways on this one, and the same down the front. It's actually spot on the outside. It's going to be underneath there, so there'll be two bolts coming through there. Now I need to obviously fill and core these holes with epoxy in a moment, but at least if we get all the holes drilled like we've done over there, we can just get them epoxy done. And it's nice and hot out here. It must be swim time. A couple of holes and we'll have a swim, eh? Definitely. And a coffee and maybe something to eat. Coffee, honey. Oh, this is such hard work. This is just like the 7 years of hell is just paying off right now. It wasn't 7 years of hell. It wasn't hell, it was Janet's hell.
It's not making such a drama out of it.
Alright, so this is taking a little bit more time than we thought, but all we've got to do now is drill this out, sort the epoxy, it's done. Good thing is you can use these base plates as a guide, and I'm pretty happy with the installation of these. I think they're such a good idea. Happy?
No, miserable.
It's a happy Jan. It's a happy Jan. Righto, so we've got our holes all drilled, and all I've got to do now is open them up, fill them with epoxy, come back and later on, hopefully today, drill them in and get these mounted. We're going to plug it in, see how much power it's going to push in. Hopefully 15 amps.
I can turn the fridge on, yay!
Definitely. Okay, so we've determined the position of all the starports, and we just basically need to determine the bolt length now. So I'm using this digital caliper, and Janet is giving me about 1 centimetre underneath to make sure that we get the right size bolts. We don't want too much thread exposed. And how's that one?
Good.
Cool, so 65 mil.
Yeah. Is
what we need. Righto, cool.
Sorry,
you know what that means? If they're all the same, you know what that means? My laminating is perfect. Our laminating. So Janet did.
Do you remember how hot I was doing this?
I know.
How dare you?
I keep forgetting to add Janet in because Janet actually, you did run off of me in the middle of the layup because it was 40 degrees.
It was in the middle. It was the last 10 minutes.
I'll accept that, but this thing is such a great idea for working out bolt lengths, and the laminates have been very consistent. I'm really quite happy. There's no real bumps and folds in it yet, and we haven't found any major discretions, and I'm pretty happy. This is just so nice. We're going to get these starports mounted straight away. Everybody going basking, and how lucky we are to have a boat, but all we're doing is cleaning and working on it.
So I thought I'd film this because you won't see it very often.
Ever since this boat went in the water, Janet has been on my case because I haven't delivered on the cooking yet.
Well, it hasn't clean either. I mean, this is the first time I've seen you clean.
I'm cleaning because it's the first time I'm up here because I'm excited about our new solar panel. Check this guy out. It is freaking awesome, and we're about to put it on. Now, if Janet's measurements are correct, we should just slot in.
You are gutless. You'll never take responsibility.
I hope you measured these right, because I'm going to be filthy if you don't, because now they're mounted. Righto, let's give it a crack. My God, is that not the best solar panel mounting solution on any boat?
Well, done.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Vision Catamarans in South Africa. That is a great idea. Yeah. And you know the other thing they do? They put a hinge here and a hinge there, and they have two, and they fold them out, and they're on starport, so they can fold them over for storage. And I think that's such a great idea. In fact, we could do that here, have a second one here, have it out, and then fold it away when we store the boat in a marina or back on its mooring. And then we're not just pumping parasitic solar into our 800 amps of lithium. Beautiful. That's great done. Let's go and get the other panel. And we've got our 4 starports here. We're going to get that one loaded up. We're going to get excited about how many amps.
Can I suggest something?
What's that?
That you clean up after yourself before we bring the panel up, because Ross has this terrible habit going, oh, I forgot that was there.
But how good does that look?
That's brilliant.
That's stunning. Had a bit of a problem. Janet and I spent about 3 hours the other day pulling like this big ass wire through here, down here, into there, all the way down into the engine room, in all of my conduit superhighways that I thought would be big enough, but they're clearly not big enough because Zach arrived home and he goes, why'd you pull such a big wire? I said, I thought we needed it for the solar. He goes, nah, you don't need that big a wire. So we've just spent another 2 hours pulling this guy through, attached to the other one. The only problem was I had to pull this apart. Luckily, I'm able to lift this enough to be able to get it to go around this 90-degree angle and through this stinking foam conduit that I had to drill with a long drill bit and a screwdriver just to get it through. But now I can individually fuse all of the solar panels. So I'm going to have another big one here, another one up on the roof here, the one that's on the roof up here, and I'll be able to have separate fuses, which is now an Australian standard that you must separately fuse every solar panel. But for now, I'm just going to leave this a little bit cinched up because I still have to pull a light wire through because we lost all our draw wires, didn't we?
I didn't lose them.
I broke the golden rule and pulled the draw wire through, but we've now got 2, so I'm excited about that. And now I can pull another light wire through, a thinner one, to just activate that LED light above here, and there's going to be a red light above the helm console. So yeah, big effort, but we did it. It's good. Well done, Dom.
Okay, and that's where it came through. As you may have remembered, it goes down there, through the helm, down through there, and comes out down here. So we just pulled that one through. Pulled that one through too, but we don't need it. So I guess Russ will use it for something else. Feels like really useful time the other day.
The kids are arriving around about 1 o'clock this afternoon, so we thought we'd come down and turn the fridge on the boat so we can come down and at least use the boat. We're still not driving it. We're still waiting on Yanmar to come and have a look at one of our engines. I mean, I could take it out, but we're still doing so much work on it. Probably better off if we just leave it here on the mooring because it's absolutely idyllic. It's 27 degrees today. We've got a tide coming on and it's just stunning here, and we can swim here. It's clear water. It's beautiful. So we just paddled our skis down and came down to turn the fridge on because now we have new solar panels, which are just a business. They're pumping in about 15 amps each at the moment, and that's enough to get a fridge working, and I think someone's a bit excited.
About time, Ross.
About time, hey.
I'm very excited because this is all I've been waiting for a few weeks.
Well, this is a milestone because it means I don't have to make cold drinks every morning. I just need to.
What do you reckon, guys?
Oh, yeah. So we've just thrown the switch on it, and Janet's peeling some of the protective coating off.
I'm going to leave this for Ellen because she wanted to do it.
Yeah, Ellen likes to pick at things, so we're going to leave that for her to, including me. Leave it as just fridge because we don't really need a freezer on board for the summer, but it's going to be nice to have a fridge at 4 degrees. We'll just leave it at Celsius, and we'll just leave it at that. We'll be able to whack some wine in there and some beers. Our next door neighbour, Jace, who lives across the road, he had a catamaran. We used to go into his place and drink beers on his boat, and he said, I'll be paddling past pretty soon, and I hope there's a cold beer in the fridge. And I haven't been able to offer that yet, but we had dinner the other night, and I said maybe by next week. So looks like he's going to be able to come down and have a beer on the boat. And we don't want to drink too much beer on the boat because they won't get any work done. The best part of owning a new appliance, isn't it?
And stuff up. I'm leaving the outside for Ellen, but I can't leave the inside because it'll go hard.
Yeah, let's get it off. We're having an RTFM moment here because we turned it on to that freezer. So Janet's actually into the manual, which is something I probably wouldn't do. I guess I should start to learn how to use a manual, eh? So we've now got it on fridge because Janet's read the manual, and that's always the way. That's
kind of way I do.
That's sort of how it works. Yeah, the logical IT person here will read a manual, whereas I'll just battle until I swear at it a few times and then I'll get it right.
So a bit earlier, he was having a go. I said, Russ, all you're doing is pressing buttons. You're not actually achieving anything. Oh, I suppose we should do the manual.
Yeah, RTFM.
And it's so simple.
Read that manual.
20 seconds.
Got the fridge going. I've done heaps and heaps of wiring, and now Janet goes, I want a dining table. So the problem is I've had a MDF dining table template there for about a year, and I've come to the conclusion that it's time to get it done. Johnny across the road, I've gone and borrowed his biscuit joiner, and I'm going to join these two slabs of Tassie oak together to make our dining table, which is basically going to be joined to our RV table, up and down adjustable table. So I've been waiting for some time because Johnny hasn't been around very much, and I was able to borrow the biscuit joiner this morning. I was up here at 5:30 getting rid of all the rubbish into the skip. The skip down there is loaded. It's a massive skip, and I thought I'll come back up to work and just fiddle around today because I've got a pretty hot day, and it's nice just being in the factory when it's all nice and tidy in here and I can just get on with a few things. But this is very important, and I've actually borrowed some tight bond from him as well, and I'm going to get it together, and then I'll clamp it and leave it for a couple of days just to let it settle, and then I can come back and bring the template back from the boat and make our dining table. Now it's going to be beautiful because this is the consistent material I've used all throughout the boat. It's only 17 mil. I'm trying to keep it light, but I also want a good quality table, so I don't want to sort of scrimp on this part because this is the main feature of the saloon, and I do want it to look lovely, and basically it's almost book matched. I do love it. It's beautiful stuff, so I'll get in and biscuit join it now, and we'll get on with it. Yeah, that was quite weird. I put them together, and straight out of the packet they just did not line up, so they're pretty good now. I've got a good join there, so I sort of had to change the aspect which I was going to have them, but pretty much this side over here will be the door facing section. It's going to be cut in an angle here because of the shape of the dinette module, but anyway, it's nice to know that I could swap it over and actually get a clean face. But that was really weird. These sides over here definitely did not look square, or at least they weren't bowed, they just weren't square. Okay, that's now done, and I'm going to leave that for the day. I'll put a bit of weight on it just in case it sort of bows up, but that's pretty good. That tight bond's freaking amazing. I think Johnny buys it in from the US, to be honest. It's you know, 5 minutes and it's already starting to set up. It's bloody incredible how quickly it dries. It's bloody amazing. Anyway, that's done. I can give him his biscuit joiner back and come in later in the week and start working on our dinette table. Very exciting.